Well, hello there, folks. This is a little bit of an interesting one for you. This is my 1972 Bearcat 55 4-stroke outboard. She's been sitting a little while. I'll fill you in on the details of why here later. But we're going to get this old girl up and running and make sure everything's going okay. We actually had a little problem down here. The impeller was bad in it, and they don't make the impeller for this motor anymore, so I had to modify one to fit it. I wish I'd filmed that, but I didn't. As you can see, we got to clean up some. We're going to go ahead and go in, clean the distributor, get the plugs done, make sure everything's firing properly. I already cleaned the glass fuel bowl on it, so we'll let you know what happens. And when I start working, I'll get back with you. Thanks. Hey there, folks. We're back to working on this 1972 55 horse Bearcat. And I knew this motor ran well when I used it. It's been many years, but I have no doubt that we'll get her running. So we're going to pop these carburetors off, go ahead and give them a clean, put them on the workbench, see what we got. And no, I really am not very familiar with these, but the basic principles should remain the same. So we'll just go through, see what the hell we find. How's that? All right, pop that off. Oh yeah. So that bolt, we're actually going to have to pull the carb away from the motor just a little bit to get it the rest of the way off. That nut, forgive me. Well, we'll get there. So we're going to pull it off, put it on the workbench, see what we can do. Oh, that bottom bolt's going to be a bear to get to. Okay, so we've got a little choke cable here. Okay, no problem. Fuel line, which I'm not too worried about anything. This thing's been unhooked for a long time. We'll end up replacing that fuel line anyway. It's pretty dry and crusty, and we don't want that when we put it back together, so we'll just replace that. I think the top carb is pretty well free. Oh, bottom nut's still in there. If you guys have any issues with taking this stuff apart and you don't have a diagram, take some photos of it beforehand. That way you know how it goes back together and you're not going to be fighting it. You can just refer back to the photos, even if it's just cell phone photos. Maybe even make yourself a file that's got those pictures in it. Alright, there's one of these carbs off. And boy, oh boy, that other one looks like it's going to be a little bit of a bear to get to, but we'll get there. Fold that out of the way, get that leaf out of the way. We don't need that, do we? Hose for the weep hole, which we'll probably replace that too. It's not as desperate, but we'll probably get it. Alright folks, I think I'm going to have to get a little different tool to get that one off there, so we're going to take this other one back in the shop and see what we've got, and we'll come back to this here soon. Hello everyone, we're back again. Oops, sorry about that, I knocked something down. Alright, I've got this first carburetor off of that boat motor, and one of the first things we're going to notice, this accelerator pump, the boot is torn, the leather on the end of the pump is really bad, but I noticed these are Tillotson carburetors, which were also used, believe it or not, in Harley Davidsons in the early 70s. So I've ordered one of these, and it looks to be right. We're going to find out. The inside of this carburetor doesn't look too bad at all. You see there's not a lot of junk in there, but in taking this apart, I did get this piece out, and I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see it or not. We're going to try to get you up close there, but there is some icky gunk up inside of there. So we're going to put this stuff into the cleaner. Okay folks, we're back. Had a little battery problem, had to put a charged battery in there. As you can see, I took this carburetor apart, and it's really not too bad in there. I mean, yes, we're going to clean it out. I see some of the passages have a little bit of gunk in them, but I removed this jet, and I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it's got quite a bit of sediment buildup in there, so we'll soak these parts and fix it. This boot right here is really bad. This is the boot for the accelerator pump on this carburetor. The nice thing I found out, this is an old Tillotson carburetor from the early 70s, and they were also used on Harley Davidsons back then. So hopefully we'll be able to get that. I've got one on the way actually that looks to be right. It didn't really have much in the way of measurements, but it looked appropriate. But if you look, this old one, the boot's just shot. The leather around the outside's just in terrible shape. So we're going to see if we can get something and replace that, and we'll go from there. But I'll clean that up, and we'll get back to you next time around. So thanks folks. Hey everyone, welcome back. I went through this carburetor, got it all nice and clean. If you don't have access to it, I completely get that, but I actually used an ultrasonic cleaner to clean this thing out, and I don't know if you can see, but that thing is spotless. I pulled the jets, cleaned everything, let it soak for a little while, and it is a thing of beauty. These are some old Tillotson carburetors, which I wasn't very familiar with. Very simple, but the accelerator pump on each carburetor, the boot's just destroyed on it, and the leather on the end of the pump, the cup, is really shot. So I did a little research online and found out that they were used in late 60s, early 70s Harley Davidsons as well. I've got one on the way. Hopefully it'll work out, and if it does, then I'll order the other one. But that's going to do it for part one on this 55 horsepower Bearcat outboard engine, and we will see you on the next go around.